Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's this Codex Station. This is Comic Character of the Week. You know the drill. We're going to give you a character, give you the deep dive on that character, and give you all the good and plenty that you need to know. I'm your host tonight, Stylist Live Guy. Joining with me is Dan the Kelly Art right there. And next to him is the Ric Flair of comics.
Woo!
And of course, right next to us here is the man that's feeling better. The man that is 90% better, J-Dub.
Yep, finally.
Well, I'm glad you're
How can you
feeling
tell
better,
he's
bud.
feeling better. That's a long reach for you to feel him all the way from Maryland to Wisconsin.
That's right. That is right.
Wisconsin. Well, I mean, the past weekend was an important weekend, so I
Right.
about out of that one. So
Right. And that's fine. No, there's no worries whatsoever on that one.
other than that, yes, I feel almost fantastic. Aside driving like 800 miles round trip.
That's all.
With the pedal to the metal, baby. That's what I say.
My car's feeling it.
Gary will know that where that quote comes from.
Too many years ago for me to remember. Pedal to the metal, baby.
Pedal to the metal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get some business out of the way before we go ahead and kick off this episode. Once again, I am your host tonight, Stylist Lab Guy. When I am not here on the Codex Station, check me out on YouTube at under Sal's Comic Corner or on the street corner begging for money because I'm into buying the big boy books
begging
now.
or banging?
I'm begging for money because I'm buying the big boy books at Comic Cons, which you'll see on Comics Unleashed this Saturday. But please check me out on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner and Instagram as a Slab Guy 77. Below me, this is the guy you find on Instagram. Hey, Chris is here. Hey, buddy. This is the guy you'll find on Instagram because he is the master of Instagram. He's a certified CGC artist, baby. This is Dan Kelly Art. Dan, talk about your stuff.
Yeah. Instagram, Dan Kelly Art. Go check it out. If you want to get a commission, or even better, if you want to buy something that I have already drawn, then I can just put it in an envelope and send it to you.
You got anything that you were working on for tonight or no?
No, I'm taking a break from that. I got other stuff. I gotta finish up that Maleficent drawing my cousin wanted, and I gotta do that Spider Gwen and
for Adam.
And was it Silk? Yeah, drawing for Adam. And then I got some stuff that I've been wanting to draw that I just haven't had a chance to because I've been doing all the other stuff. So I got a cool idea for a Phantom drawing I want to do.
All right. Sounds good. Why don't you introduce the guy next to you?
Oh, he says no.
He doesn't have to. Yeah, I feel like Dan goes, man, I do this every goddamn time.
But he loves it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Dan didn't
curator of comics.
Dan said he's tired of it.
Yeah, Dan's like,
Nah, I'm tired of it.
No, you just shook your head no, so I was like, okay.
No, I was being demure. So
He was trying to read the room.
yeah, I was trying to read the room. Hey, come on, see me, Comic Logic, Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. We would love to see you there. We have a bunch of events coming up, so if you go to Comic Logic, you can head over to our page and you can find out all the stuff that we have going on. We're having our big for Free Comic Book Day. We're having Miss Diana Lee Ansanto, who is martial arts royalty. Her father is a famous martial artist. Her godfather is Bruce Lee. So you can't get any more pedigreed than that. So please come see us. She would sign your books like that book of Sal's going to bring, and we would love to see you there. So please come. And it's also going to be our 10th anniversary. So that's definitely something worth celebrating. Also, check out our Comic Character of the Day site that Dan Kelly is running so well. He puts a great Character of the Day up, great random panel of the day. Talking Geek has been doing the covers of the day lately because I've been overwhelmed with stuff, and he is really doing a great job with covers.
Yes, indeed.
So please come see that great site started by our good buddy Archduke Kevy. So that's enough out of me. Now let's kick it up to our builder, our founder, the man that put this station on the map, the one, the only, J-Dub.
yeah. You guys can find us at thecodexstation.com. One-stop shop for everything Codex, get some merch, meet the team, let us know what you like and don't like, and so much more. You can find us also on the
We have all the socials. Is that it?
Yes,
Because
there we go.
Positively dripping with the socials. And what we want to do is we want to give them to you, baby. Hit that like button.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Very good. Now, before we go ahead and kick off the show, let's give a little preview to our giveaway, our March Madness giveaway, that is, because every month now, Codex Station is giving away some stuff. All you got to do is enter in hashtag giveaway. If you're a paying member subscriber, that's only $1 a month. You're automatically entered. If you just do hashtag giveaway in our chat, we see that, you'll be entered. If you're new to our channel, hit that like, share, and subscribe. Show us a picture that you subscribe to any of our socials, and you're entered that way as well. But check out these books, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. This is amazing. You're going to get not only that Joker, Death in the Family trade, but you're going to get 3 foily goodness of books. Red Hulk #1, Eddie Brock Carnage #1, and All-Star Absolute Power #1 right there. All good, all foily goodness books. So please enter in hashtag giveaway. Get in on the action. This is March's giveaway. We'll be doing that at the end of the month. All right.
Good.
Some good books.
Very good. Very good. All right. Are you guys ready to kick off this show?
Always.
All right. Let's go ahead and get rid of that pre-show ticker, because now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start us off and we're going to do some groovy bass tones, and we'll see you guys in about a minute.
That was a
Ladies-
laugh.
No, I had to throw that in there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Codex Station's Comic Character of the Week, where we do that deep dive on that one character. And tonight's character, of course, is this crazy assassin, Bullseye. So let's get locked and loaded here. And Dan, give us the intro on this guy.
Yeah, so he first appeared in Daredevil 130 in March 1976, created by, some comic book legends, Marv Wolfman and John Romita Sr., even though Romita was not the one that drew the book, but he's the one that co-created the character. As far as his origin, his real name and origin are unknown. There's been a few different names that have been given in the comics, but he's even said, oh, yeah, that's one of the names I've used. So we've never been given a definitive name. There's been some things revealed about his past related to his childhood with his brother and an abusive father, time spent as a baseball pitcher, working for the NSA and for the DEA before becoming a costumed assassin. But all of that info comes from Bullseye himself, and he's also said when he's given this information, like, yeah, I made some of that stuff up. Some of it's true, some of it's not. So as far as we know, we don't know his real name. We don't know his real origin, which I think is, is cool about the character. We don't have to know everything about every character,
Absolutely.
As far as his powers, he doesn't really have powers per se. He could throw nearly any object with the force and accuracy that it takes to make it lethal. He's also an expert hand-to-hand combat fighter. He's skilled in the use of firearms. He has an unusually high tolerance for pain. The closest he gets to an actual real, kind of superpower is that his bones are laced with adamantium. They're not completely covered with it the way Wolverine's are. They're just somewhat laced with it.
All right.
Yeah, I agree, Talking Geek. He's one of those characters that, not having the full story makes him better. Kind of like how Wolverine used to be.
Right. I totally agree with that. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and then jump on to the first segment of the night, what works best.
Well, they never actually said that he's a mutant. It would make sense if they said he was a mutant and that was his power, but they've never, as far as I know, never definitively said it.
Not that I know of either. Yeah. Okay. Uncle Gary, why don't you kick us off on what works best for you with him? I left more.
Wow,
That's funny.
that's
Good one,
very
Mr.
good.
Keith.
I think what works best. He is one of the few villains that has absolutely no redeeming quality whatsoever. He is just a total sociopath and maybe one of the most evil pieces of crap out there. I mean, there is nothing, and I mean nothing good about this guy. And, most villains, you might be able to find a nugget of something that you can relate to or that redeems them just a slight bit. And not knowing his backstory, you don't even know if there's anything redeeming in that turned him into this psychotic piece of crap. So I think he works best as that he is just a total dark blight on humanity, and that is what he is. And he is just he's just as black-hearted as they come, and is just unsympathetic, unwaveringly unsympathetic to anybody at all in any circumstance. So he's just a total blackguard, and that's what he is. And I think that's what makes him makes him unique, I think.
Okay. Jamie, how about you? What do you think?
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but I like the fact that you don't really know his origin. You don't know what he's done. The characters that are the most mysterious are the ones that tend to be one of the best, especially when you can be creative with them and change their past, change everything that leads up to now. It was great with the Joker until they gave him a backstory. It was great with Wolverine until they gave him a backstory. This is great because of the fact that you never know if he's actually telling you what's real and what's not, or if he just made it up. So that mysteriousness is something that actually makes his character better.
Okay. Very good. I will go ahead and go next, and I got to echo both of you guys on that one. There's not much to add on that. His craziness, being a sociopath, no redeeming qualities. This is all stuff that I know it sounds bad, but that's what makes him the good assassin type of character, I feel. So, Dan, how about you? Got anything to add to that?
Yeah, pretty much, just echoing what you guys said, how he's, as an unhinged psychopath. He's shown in some of his series that, his series or when he's appeared in other series that being a assassin, a contract killer, that he doesn't even really do it for the money. He's not that interested in the money. He's not that interested, in, women or accumulating whatever, that he's just kind of in it because
he likes
he's
to
a
kill.
Psychopath. He likes to kill, and he likes, the challenge. There was one, I'm sure it'll be talked about, one of his series in here that was just a 2-issue thing where he disappeared from being a contract killer for a year because he got bored with it and wanted a new challenge and said, I'm gonna go play baseball.
Yeah.
And pitch a perfect game.
Yeah.
Because he just was like, I need a challenge. And you see it in some of his series where he's turning down contracts, because, not because he doesn't want the money, just because he's like boring. So I think that makes him a little bit more interesting too.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true. He's a cornhole player. Very true. Very true, Chris. All right, so let's go ahead and then jump to our next segment, which is badass moments. And I think I'll kick this one off tonight for badass moments. So my first one I have, and they're all going to be dealing with killing. So, just to give you a little preview, heads up, spoiler alert, they're all going to deal with killing.
Well, I mean, he's not known for, he's
bringing
not
flowers or helping out the poor.
He's known for baseball.
Yeah, known for baseball. All right, so my first one here is throwing a tooth as a weapon. Punisher versus Bullseye #5. he pulls out one of his own teeth and throws it with enough accuracy to kill somebody. That's pretty badass right there. I mean, come on, that's to kill somebody with a tooth. That's right up there.
Your own tooth.
Yeah, you're pulling out your own tooth and then using it as a weapon. That's insane. My next one I have killing a man with a paper airplane. This happens in Bullseye's Greatest Hits, issue number 2, I believe. And he just used the paper airplane, used it as a projectile weapon, and killed the guy with it. So that's pretty badass. So he killed my last one. He killed a crime boss with a peanut. So this was in Daredevil 181, one of my favorite issues. Frank Miller, I think, wrote this one as well. And he gets the peanut right, lodges it right into his throat where the guy chokes to death on it. And I guess he's loved every minute of that. And it's terrifying that he could turn a snack into a weapon. I mean, that's just terrifying on its own. So Dan, how about you? What you got for your three badasses?
With what the companies are putting in snacks, they're turning snacks into weapons all the time.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. All right, Dan, you go next.
Yeah.
What you got?
You can't. You're right. You can't buy something that's just gonna make you a little less hungry without potentially killing yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So the first one I'll say is, well, let me ask this: do either for Gary or Jamie, do either one of you have Daredevil 181 on your badass moment list?
Yes.
All right, I'll skip that one then.
Yeah, but that's okay. Go ahead.
No, just go ahead.
Oh no, I got three other ones. I just put that on there in case no one else has.
Daredevil's
Okay.
Joker.
Daredevil. He kind of is,
Yeah, he kind of is. Yeah.
You know,
He's more of a
Joker-
poker. He's more of a poker than a Joker.
Yeah.
But Joker is someone that's not really interested in that's
The
not
money.
really interested in money, and he's not really interested in a lot of the things that other villains are. He's just interested in
Oh God.
killing.
Can we put that one up there? I see Jamie
Yeah,
laughing.
go ahead, go for it. That made me laugh.
I believe he
Wow,
did that in Frederick on Sunday.
That's exactly right. That's why he gets kicked out of restrooms coast to coast.
That's why security escorted him out of the bathroom.
Yep.
All right, so
Wow.
like now I got one where he kills someone with a tooth, but it's a different way. It's in Bullseye Greatest Hits issue 5. He goads this guy into punching him and attacking him when they're all locked up, and knocks one of his teeth out, and then he just smiles and looks at the guy and spits his tooth at him, and it goes through his forehead and kills him.
Wow. Yeah.
That's one I had.
Daredevil, the Target issue 1, when he kills a person with a toothpick through a window from 100 yards away, where he just looks at him in a telescope, sees him, is like, oh, okay. And he's holding the paper for the toothpick and just flicks it at him, and they're dead.
That's got to be a mutant power. Come on.
And then Bullseye issue 1, he's in the off. I don't think it says floor he's on, but he's in a upper floor of this office building in New York, talking to his agent, manager. I don't know specifically what it was, but the guy that books his killings for him. And the guy's going over all of these potential contracts, and he's saying, no, pass, turn it down. And while he's doing it, he just takes the little container of paper clips that's on the guy's desk and just starts flicking them out the window at people. And the first one, he hits a guy and kills him, but then, like riding on a bicycle, but then causes that to crash, the guy to like hit someone's car. Then the person gets out and he flicks one and kills them. And then he just keeps throwing it. And then like his people are going like, oh my God, what's going on? Showing up to the scene and police are coming. He just starts keeps throwing all these paper clips at him, kind of like absently, just when you're, like when you're bored and you're just doing something, he's just flicking them at him while he's talking to this guy about what his next job's going to be. And then at the end, when he, when he's like, all right, I'm going to take this job, he goes, oh, by the way, you're out of paper clips. And then the next scene shows this like mass carnage on the ground where there's just like all these bodies just from him up at this upper window throwing paper clips at him.
Jeez. That's insane.
So those are my three. And then Daredevil 181, which I'm, he said they both have it, and I'm sure that's an issue we're going to get into a lot tonight.
Yep, I'm sure we are. Okay, Jamie, how about you? Let's give you your badass moments.
So obviously, I had him getting his tooth knocked loose and spitting it and killing somebody, because that's you really gotta be creative when you're thinking about those kind of things. Like, if he just knocked out a tooth, could he use it as a weapon?
Because in that one, he had his hands shackled and like covering up, and they're thinking, oh well, there's nothing he can do because he can't get his hands on anything.
Right.
Yeah. Joke's on them. But I did have a part from Daredevil 181, and that was when he killed Elektra. And basically, it was a fight just to see who's Kingpin's top assassin. I'll leave it at that. Because I know, like we've been saying, we're going to get into that one probably a lot later. And one that I had that I thought was the coolest was from Daredevil 500, where he dresses up as fake Daredevil and beats Daredevil. Just to tarnish Murdoch's name even more, he embarrasses him by beating him as himself.
Right. Right. No, that's just another check mark in the insanity box. Okay.
Yeah, like, how badass is it to dress up like the person that is saving everybody and just wipe the floor with them?
Yeah.
And then be like, I'm still better, but I'm you.
Yeah. That is crazy. All right.
Those are my three.
Okay, Uncle Gary.
All right, so Daredevil 181, he kills Elektra with her own weapon. So not just kills her with her own weapon, with her own say. In Daredevil End of Days, he kills Daredevil, stabs him through the head, kills him, and then later he kills himself because he's just got nothing else to live for.
Right.
He's taken his number one object of torment off the board, so he's got nothing else going to thrill him. He takes himself out. So,
that kind of goes to the what Booze said, him being like
the Joker.
That's something the Joker would do. Like, Batman's dead. Like, now what?
Yeah, Joker would. Yeah, without Batman, the Joker would be totally lost.
Yeah,
so that's how he was. And then I don't know what issue it was, but Bullseye can throw playing cards too. And there's another Marvel hero that does that, Gambit, and Gambit threw one of his cards at Bullseye. Bullseye catches and throws it back at him before it blows up. So I think that's pretty
badass.
To take the Cajun's trick and then throw it right back in his face and make him get a little of his own explosive medicine.
Yeah,
so I thought that was pretty good.
What issue is that from? I gotta read that one.
I knew it, and I didn't research. I mean, I didn't track it down. I just know that it happened, and I didn't.
Right.
I ran out of tracking it down time.
Okay, I'll look that up. All right, very good. So let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, which is critiques and criticisms and why we don't like this character. And Jamie, you can go first on this one. What don't you like?
I was hoping you'd pick me first.
I tried to mix it up.
This one was actually tough. This was really, really tough, to the point where, and I've been saying it for years, the one thing I don't like about this character is his fucking suit. I can't stand it. I hate every iteration that they try to use in live action, in comics. Even the Ultimate suit wasn't cool. Like, for this kind of character, give him something badass, please.
Yeah.
I like the costume. I like the simplicity of it.
I can't stand the cowl aspect of it. Like, I'm looking at old Gary's figure, or what do you call it, the action figure right there, and I'm just like, I can't do it.
Well, I like all he's had a couple miniseries, and one of them that was just called Bullseye. You could see it on the cover where he's got the suit, and they changed it a little bit. They add like a gun holster to it, but they also make the torso part of it blue, while the pants and the arms and the hood and all that.
I just can't get into any of them.
Like that.
I'm not. This is the one character that I think I've ever hated their suit is the reason why I don't like them sometimes.
Yep.
I will say that they should add stuff to it too. If they're going to put
more pouches.
If they're going to put a bunch of pouches on someone, the guy that it would make sense for, because they would be full of like cards and nails and ball bearings and just all kinds of little shit for him to be able to throw.
Just little pings.
Yep.
Or like they need to give him that vest that Black
He
Widow
needs shoulder
had.
pads. I feel like he needs shoulder pads and chains. And then
That vest that Yelena had in the Black Widow
with all
movie.
the pockets.
Yeah.
it came with pockets.
The trick or nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, you love that. You love that scent. You know it.
I don't want to say anything, but I got 2 bottles. Nah.
Dan, how about you? What don't you like about him?
They've kind of killed him and resurrected him a few too many times, where it's just kind of, it's kind of old hat at this point. Like, oh, okay, what are we gonna do? Because in the current Daredevil series, he's getting ready to, he got like his arm ripped off, and he's getting ready to. Looks like he's getting ready to die again. But you know that this character is not going to stay dead. So, right. At some point, just stop doing it. It's just, there's nothing new, to be squeezed out of that lemon. And I thought it was really stupid when they had him carve the target in his head.
Yeah.
It was so dumb.
Yeah. I didn't like that either. That was, yeah, I have to agree with that.
And, he's had 2 live action iterations. And while I love the Daredevil show, and it's interesting what they did with him in that, he's not really, unless we see him when he comes back, which I assume will be at some point, like he's not really that psychotic killer in that show the way he is in the comics. Now, he was much more, like that in the Ben Affleck movie where
right.
Colin Farrell played him. Colin Farrell nailed the role where he, like I said, other than the stupid
scar on his head, yeah,
stupid scar on his head, like he nailed the character for being this just unhinged lunatic.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I do agree with that. All right, so for me, I'll go next on this one, and there was not much I didn't like about him. I was fearing, because he is a psychopathic killer, right? You're never sure which way he's going to go. I felt like that I would fear that he would become a one-trick pony. Oh, it's Bullseye. Yeah, he's going to kill a lot of people again. But it has been. He does keep it a bit interesting, and I just fear that down the road that they're going to try to change him to something a little bit different, because I feel like the one-trick pony issue is going to rear its head. But like Dan said, yeah, like Dan said, they're constantly killing him and resurrecting him because he is really one of the big nemesis of Daredevil. I mean, besides Kingpin, he's the one he's always fighting with. So, if Jamie, I have to agree. I hate the suit. I don't like the big ass bullseye on it. I like the simplicity of the rest of it, but the big ass bullseye on his head, I don't know. It's almost like he's taunting people to shoot here, type of thing. Which
I kind of think that's what it is. He's like daring them.
So that gives you another check in the crazy box. Okay, yeah. Check. Yeah. All right, Gary, how about you? What don't you like about him?
Before I do that, there's one other thing that was pretty, I don't want to call it badass, but it was awful, but it shows the level of his level of psychosis, is when he killed the wife of one of the most powerful and mentally unstable heroes in the entire Marvel universe. When he killed the Sentry's wife, that could have gone so badly in so many ways, and he had no problem doing that.
Yeah.
He just does not give a rat's ass. So, that's
another check in the crazy box.
Oh, yeah, because the Sentry's as unstable as they come, and you're going to mess with that dude.
Yeah.
I think what's tough on this guy is that because he doesn't miss, how is he ever defeated?
Yeah.
How is this character ever defeated if he never misses? And Daredevil hands him his ass every single time almost.
Yeah,
I guess he has beaten Daredevil quite a few times, but how does he ever get defeated?
Right.
So I think that's kind of tough to make him this assassin that never misses and can't miss and does that. And then I'm going to totally deviate from the three of y'all. I know I'm out on a limb here. I don't like the mystery of his backstory. I think that the Joker, Wolverine are compelling characters that it makes them even more compelling not to know their backstory. They're so interesting, and that you can create so many different things. For some reason, I don't find him as compelling to create a backstory in my head for him. I'd like to know what it was that made him such a psychopathic piece of crap. You know, was it something so horrific, or was he just a bad seed? So for some reason, I would like this character better if I knew it. And I know I'm the only one here that feels that way, but that's just the way
that's what it.
That's a good point.
That's awesome. Like, you know, to some people it might be that. For us as the readers, it one way.
Right. I mean, we're all different,
totally
but I mean, I'm totally with you on Wolverine and Joker. I don't want to know, don't need to know, because the mystery on those characters, I think, really is fascinating. But this guy, I don't know. I don't hold him in the same light. And for him, I need more. I need to know why he is what he is.
Right.
So, but that again, that's a minority opinion here.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And you do make a very good point about that too, because he's not a compelling character for me either. Like, I don't really want to give him a second thought. I read him. Oh yeah, here comes the psychopath again, dude. Let's see how many he's going to kill now. But I don't need to know. I need to know, I guess, a little bit more about him to figure out what his mindset is, other than just crazy, that type of thing.
But see what you point out about how, how's he ever get beat if he never misses? Now, some of that's explained that, he'll throw, and like with Daredevil, where Daredevil just knock it away at the last minute. It's like, okay, if he didn't have the reflexes to do that, he wouldn't have missed it, would have hit him, except for that. But yeah, but I think I've mentioned it before. It's a problem with a lot of villains you make these characters that are supposed to be so scary and so badass, and yet you can't really have them win, because if you have them win, then all the heroes are dead. So it's that, like, you got to find that balance for keeping the badassness and the toughness and stuff for the villain, while still having it where they're not actually just murdering their way through all the heroes. Now, I don't know if the solution to that is, you find little loopholes, or you just take some of these, C and D list character, heroes, and you let them kill them. Excuse me.
Or maybe we have it where Bullseye fails more because he wants more of a challenge, and he won't kill them outright, because then where's the fun in that? I mean, I could see that.
Like, they should have, it would be interesting to have him beat Daredevil to the point where Daredevil's there and he's literally like, I could kill you right now, but where's the fun in that?
Exactly.
Where he says, it's all about the challenge for me. I've proven that I can beat you when I want. So I'm going to let you live, because I know you'll work and you'll train and you'll get better, and I'll be able to come back and try again. Like, if they did something like that, it would be interesting.
Like in the days, he does kill him,
and
then realizes that his life is not even worth living anymore.
Right.
With Daredevil dead, he's got nothing to live for.
Stormtroopers. All right. Very good.
Well,
so let's go ahead. Yeah,
I won't throw a side tangent because I haven't been able to talk about it in a while.
Do it.
So I read Daredevil #1. I am completely hooked. Marvel's taking my life.
Which the original one?
The original.
Oh, yeah.
The Stan Lee, like everything Stan Lee wrote, I'm kind of loving.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, Daredevil. I'm tired of getting facsimiles. It's opening my eyes to new things, and I don't have the money.
Yeah, and Booge, that's it, right, too. Now, I get that. When they go that tangent that he could kill these other characters. Now, of course, he's not going to kill one of the, he's not going to kill Thor, or he's not going to kill somebody that, of that power set. But of the street level heroes, you would think he could pretty much kill them all whenever he wanted to, so.
Right.
And Jamie, the tie between Daredevil and the Ninja Teenage.
Oh, yeah. I was going to bring that up, but I waited.
Same origin. Yep.
Yeah. And you got the foot, you got the hand, you got Splinter, you got Stick.
Yep.
Yep. Very good.
You got the ooze, you got the chemicals.
I guess I should mention it for anybody that's watching that doesn't know. When they created the Teenage, Laird and Eastman, when they created the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they created it just as a. What's up, Adam? Thanks for joining us. They
Adam
created it just as a parody of what was popular at the time, and well, that's why that's why he became the legend he was.
Yep.
But their origin was that the chemicals that hit Matt Murdock and gave him his power. ooze down into the, when they went down into the sewer, that's what hit the turtles and mutated them.
That's
All right,
exactly
very
right.
Love the connections. Love the connections. 6 shades of Kevin Bacon, as I like to call it. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and jump to our next segment, which is top covers. And who do I have lined up here first for top covers? Well, that would be Gary. Gary, here's your top covers. You ready to talk about yours?
Yeah, let's talk about these covers. Let's see what I picked.
All right.
All right, there we go. So somebody mentioned earlier about, remember when he was Hawkeye? Yeah. I remember when he was Hawkeye. So right in the middle there is Dark Avengers, number 3, cover B by Daniel Acuna. Yeah, so that's, I like where we get the profile of Bullseye in the back, but that is Lester or whatever we want to call him there as Hawkeye, and not doing good things for Hawkeye's reputation. That's for sure.
That's true.
He wasn't missing, but he was hitting too much, hitting too many people. The one on the right, I just love that. Back to the baseball aspect.
Yeah,
Bullseye's
that's
greatest
great.
hits, number 2, Mike Deodato Jr. And I just love that cover. The ball with the blood on it. At the feet of the dude, he's just beanballed. The other players going, damn, what the hell? And then he's just there. He's so happy with himself.
Yeah, perfect game.
So happy with himself. And then the one on the right, that is just great. That's Daredevil 160, Volume 1, Frank Miller, Klaus Janson. And I just, there he is right there. I think that's just a great portrait of his insanity. He's got Black Widow with a hairdryer cord wrapped around her neck. And to beat someone of the skill level, Mo Lester. There you go. I like that. Mo Lester. When you can beat somebody with the skill of Black Widow just like he did, and it's just like, hey, look at me. Look what I did. He's just absolutely off his freaking nut.
Yep.
And, a hairdryer. He's got a hairdryer as a weapon. And I think that cover really encapsulates who he is as a character, that he is just totally freaking nuts, and that anything in his hands is a lethal weapon.
Yep, absolutely. I gotta say, I hate that costume of Hawkeye there with the sleeveless look. I don't know. I can't. That just bothers me. That bothers me too much.
But that's not Hawkeye.
I know.
That's Bullseye as Hawkeye.
I know. Bullseye as Hawkeye. I'm just not a fan of the sleeveless. I don't know. All right, let's see. Who we got up next? Jamie, got yours next. You ready to talk about yours?
Yep.
All right, here you go.
So far left, kind of blurry, but it's the Punisher 102. When I first really started going to conventions, when I went to back to my first C2E2, this was the first comic. I didn't even have the series. This is the first comic I bought at that convention, and then I bought the whole series. But I loved it because of the fact that in the blade you see the Punisher symbol and just the sadistic look. And I had really no idea of Bullseye at the time, but just seeing this, I was like, okay, I want to know who this is. I want to read this, and I'm gonna have to collect 102 issues back. Little did I know that I needed 2 more in front of it, but this one was a memory that I will cherish for at least a cover. Next up, obviously Daredevil 181. I just love the fact that he's fighting Electro, and you have this big Daredevil in the back that seems like he's watching both of them, with all of his senses as it's going on. And then lastly, we have Bullseye. It's issue 1. It's a variant. I just love it that he's on the playing card. You see all the flames around him just screaming. It's almost like a come at me, come and get me. And then he's also got people in his crosshairs. It's if I could actually find this one right now, I'd hang it on the wall.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry, that one's blurry. I thought that looked okay to me, but I guess looking at it now, it does look a little blurry. I probably should have tried to grab
it's okay. It's just my most cherished moment, Sal.
I know. Well, you'll get over it. You'll get over it.
Good job, Sal.
Yeah, I know. Good
job.
job.
Way to make me feel less of a person.
Good. I'm glad. Check that in the box, baby. All right, Dan, I've got yours
Box
up
was checked
next.
a long time ago, Sal.
and you can't get rid of me. All right, so
Like herpes.
yeah, you love it.
Or-
Dan,
or
you're up
look-
next. I know. Here we go, Dan. Look at
All
that.
right, well, let's start at the far left. Like Jamie, I had the 181. I mean, that's a pivotal book for all three characters. And, it's interesting, too, that the whole book is narrated. It's told from the point of view of Bullseye. And, yeah, how I'm sure it'll be on someone's list, so I won't go too much into it. But, yeah, like you said, it's also a cover where you see him and Elektra fighting each other, and Daredevil's just in the background, like, oh shit. Yeah, that Punisher one is very demented.
Yeah, I believe it's a low print run too. That's why it's so expensive now.
Yeah. The middle one is a variant cover from issue 2 of his miniseries Bullseye, and I just like how the art's kind of gritty, and he's just standing in this dark alley, and he's partially covered with shadows, and he's just loaded up with weapons, and just I can imagine if you're walking somewhere and you like turn a corner and you see that there, you just like instantly shit your pants. That is scary. And even the logo, where the logo looks like almost serial killer-ish, like when you see those notes where they like clip the letters out of magazines and glue them onto paper for their ransom notes and stuff. It kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah, thanks, Booge. It's a disturbing kind of one. And then the last one on the right, Bullseye Greatest Hits issue 5. I like the whole thing where it's in the shadow, and you just see that his face with that just demented, evil, psychotic look, and then just giving the finger gun, pointing it at someone, like, haha, gonna get you. Like, I mean, if there's anyone you don't want pointing a finger gun at you, even in a playful way, that's the guy. And I love how if you notice, it's got that spot where he's got a tooth missing.
Yes.
Because that's the issue where the guy knocked his tooth out and then he spit it at him through his skull and killed him with it. So I like that it even has that little detail that you probably don't notice when you first look at the cover, but then after you read the issue and you see it, you're like, oh yeah, that's a nice little tie-in for it.
Yep.
And whose art is that? Diodato?
Chris.
Wow. There you go.
Cover,
I miss you, brother.
Diodato, I think he did the covers for he did the covers for all the issues, and then Steve Dillon did the interiors.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's go ahead and check out the covers that I chose then. There we are. All right, let's start with that far left one, Amazing Spider-Man, number 572, the B version of that. I mean,
that's a joke if you ever see one.
Yeah.
I know. That's just, if the crazy box hasn't been checked yet, it is checked now because of that face alone. That's just a great face. David Finch did the art for that, and Maury Hollowell did the coloring for that cover. So, and the inker was Danny Meeke, I believe it was. So, good cover there. Just love it.
I love how they got the veins in his eyeballs.
I know. That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, so for that middle one was Punisher versus Bullseye number 1. This was done by David Kemp, but I love the fact that they look like they're back to back, so it looks like they're going to do one of those pace to 10, turn and fire. He's only got the playing card. Punisher has his BFG, that you would get out of the game Doom.
He's got a Rob Liefeld gun.
Yeah,
he does.
So
their costumes look like they're going to merge together and form
and
one ultra costume.
Right. That's probably what the fight was over too.
This is my color scheme. Get away from me, Frank.
But yeah, I like that because he's holding up to just the playing card while Punisher has his, humongous gun. So
Punisher's got to be jacked to hold that gun up. That's why.
He's got to be.
He's so ripped.
He's doing more than push-ups. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah, he is.
All right, for my last cover is Captain America number 347. This is the B cover, and inker was Fuladani, and the penciler was Ron Lim. So I love this one. He's got Captain America pinned down. He's got that shitty grin face on it, and he's got the side like he's ready to just stab Captain America in the throat type of thing. But that's just a great cover all around too. So
I got two of those on the rack behind me. I got the Punisher Bullseye one and the Captain America one.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah, that's when Ron Lim was the artist on Captain America. And it was that Streets of Poison storyline was a good one too.
All right. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's go ahead then. And before we jump into our next segment, we have to go over the giveaways one more time. So the giveaway for the month of March is this. We got the Joker, Death in the Family trade from the New 52. We have some Foily Goodness books. We got Red Hulk 1, Eddie Brock Carnage number 1, and Absolute Power number 1. All foils. All can be yours. If you do what, Jamie? What do you got to do?
In the chat, put hashtag giveaway. If you are a member for the $1 a month, you're automatically entered into the rest of the giveaways the rest of the year because we're doing one a month. And lastly, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and take a screenshot, send it to us. You'll be automatically entered.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jamie.
Talking Geek got his stuff, so I was very happy.
Yes.
I was going to say too, it seems like it would be a natural crossover for him and the Ninja Turtles with all the similarities. But
the Turtles are busy with Naruto right now.
Yeah. So I found this online. If they ever did a crossover, maybe they could use a cover like this.
There you go.
The Super Team Family ones.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That would be. All right. So next up is our essential reading. And Dan, why don't you go ahead and kick us off for essential reading? I've got your tag right here. There you are.
See you later, Talking Geek, and great job on the covers lately. Great job.
Talking Geek. Thank you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us. All right, yeah. So Daredevil 284 to 290. That's from his first series. That was written by Ann Nocenti, and that's the one where it's one of the times when Matt Murdock decided he was going to walk away and not be Daredevil anymore, and he was trying to become, he's kind of living in Hell's Kitchen, kind of had some amnesia, decided he was going to be a boxer. Yeah, that would be. If you just look up like Super Team Family covers, they, the whoever it is that creates them makes some cool mashups.
And for those that don't know, that's a real DC book that went like 15 issues. I have all the issues of it, so it's kind of neat that they took that title and did that.
Yeah.
How's it going, Uncle Gary? Have it. Got it. Have it. I have this whole short box, right?
And and then since he's gone, Bullseye starts masquerading as Daredevil because he wants to ruin Daredevil's reputation, and he starts just stealing and assaulting people, and they're tearing him apart in the press, but the people still love him because I guess they don't believe it. And then when Matt comes back decides to be Daredevil, they end up clashing, and then he puts on the Bullseye suit. And then Bullseye starts kind of having a mental break where he starts thinking that he is actually Daredevil. So it's a pretty cool story. It's one of the first Daredevil, some of the first Daredevil books I read when I started reading comics. So it's got that soft spot for me too. The next one, Bullseye's Greatest Hits. Daniel Way wrote it, and Steve Dillon was the artist. And it's one where the government has captured Bullseye, and it's kind of an origin story where he, bit by bit is talking about his origin, where he the stuff with his childhood and his abusive father and his brother and baseball and, the working for the NSA and the DEA and all that, along with what's going on in the story. And then at the end, that's when he goes, "Oh yeah, I just made up some of that stuff. Some of it's real. Some of it I made up just to amuse myself." So it's kind of an origin series, but who knows how much of it is actually true. And Booge, that was part of a great time for the Daredevil book. And then Punisher Bullseye, it's the same creative team as Bullseye, Greatest Hits, Daniel Way, Steve Dillon, and Sal had the cover, and it's just the Punisher taking on Bullseye, and it seems like it would be a natural, a natural fight between the two of those that they would do well together. And it's a pretty fun book. There's some, it's very much in the vein of the Garth Ennis Punisher series with some outrageous stuff in it. Not just the violence, but some of the just bizarre, outrageous stuff that happens in it. And it's a book that you'll have a lot of fun reading.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yep, I could talk to that Punisher Bullseye one as well too, because I have that on mine. But Jamie, you're going to be next. So Jamie, here's your stories. Your recommended readings.
Yeah, so Last Hand is Daredevil 181. This is Frank Miller at his best, I think.
Yeah.
He goes
100%.
after Elektra in one of like the most brutal, heart-wrenching moments in comics. So like Uncle Gary was talking about earlier, it's just gut-wrenching. And if you want to actually see how dangerous he is, this is the issue to check out. Next up, obviously, greatest hits. Like Dan had, I don't want to go too much more into it. I pretty much covered everything. Last, I have The Devil in Cell Block D. Brubaker throws Murdoch into the prison, and Bullseye's waiting for him. The tension alone in here is insane. Daredevil's completely trapped, and it's like he's in a lion's den. It's intense, it's gritty, and it proves Bullseye is never really out of a fight. So if you guys want to check that one out, I would recommend that one. I think that's probably my favorite.
Yeah,
that's a good one too. That is a good one too.
I'd say the really cool thing about Last Hand too is, it's always brought up with Bullseye, him throwing stuff, shooting people with guns or throwing stuff and all that. But in Last Hand, it shows that he's actually, a very deadly hand-to-hand fighter because he beats Elektra.
Oh, close range, yeah.
Yeah, who's known for being this, badass assassin ninja, and he just beats the hell out of her before the famous scene with the Psy.
It was a knockdown, drag-out fight. I mean, it was brutal.
Yeah,
it was a rough one.
All right, so why don't I go next for recommended readings? Here we go, and we got Bullseye 2017. Let me get my notes here. There we go. There's my notes. Yeah, this is written by Ed Brisson, and the artist was Guillermo Sana, I believe it was. This is a good solo Bullseye miniseries. It really dives deep into the psychotic assassin's mind. You get to really kind of see some of the stuff why he ticks. His unstoppable nature, his twisted sense of fun, his total lack of empathy, which we've talked about in depth on this one. So it really goes into that, and it emphasizes a lot on his lethal efficiency. Like he's gleefully cuts a bloody path of cartel soldiers in this, and he uses anything and everything as a weapon. And his sociopathy is on full display. He doesn't just kill for the job; he kills because it's fun. And that's really brought on here. So this is definitely one to check out if you want to see his like full-on psychosis type of thing. The next one down, Jamie talked about this. This is a little bit more on that, but I don't really need to add too much to what he said because he pretty much nailed it on the head. What I want to add to it is, even though I don't think Daredevil really fought him directly, but he taunted him, the whole time, and it was just unleashed a barrage of like mental like shit on Daredevil the whole time, just further proving this guy's a psycho. It's just it's so definitely like Jamie said, you got to check out this one.
That was part of the Bendis run, right?
Yeah, yes.
Because I think Bendis only used Bullseye like 2 times in his entire run.
Jeez,
and they were big parts.
Yeah.
All right, for my last one, I got Punisher versus Bullseye. And this is the fight everybody wants to see. This is the heavyweight fight. You go to the boxing match and you want to see you don't want to see the warm ups. This is the one you want to see, and there's a lot of collateral damage in this one, and it just shows how Punisher, his cold and calculating tactician that he is. He's countering Bullseye's tricks and everything like that, with just raw physical power. But you know, but the Bullseye is just like that whole madness thing. I can't, we talked about this in the earlier in the show, comparing him to the Joker with his psychosis. This is exactly it. This is exactly his chaotic, lethal violence. That's the best way I can describe it. So definitely check out this book. It's a good fight. It's a good miniseries to read too. So definitely on that one. Right. So that's my 3. Uncle Gary, I got yours queued up right here.
All right, so we'll start at the bottom. We've talked about this Bullseye's greatest hits. Just a great. It's his greatest hits. It's a great, a great look into a serial killer sociopath's mind and how he does business. So Dark Reign, Hawkeye 1 through 5. So you get to see him pretend to be Hawkeye, and just like when he dressed up as Daredevil, when he dressed up as Hawkeye, he did not elevate Hawkeye's reputation. So he was not up to good. He was up to no good. So
and he showed off the guns too at the same time.
He did show off the guns. Sal didn't like seeing all that. He didn't like seeing all.
I didn't like it.
All those muscles. But that's part of the sociopath he is. He wanted to upset Sal. So
it worked.
And it worked. Okay, so the other one is a longer dive, and it's because this whole damn series needs to be read. And it's Daredevil 158 to 191, and that's the breadth of the Frank Miller run, the writing and the art. And it is amazing, and there are fantastic Bullseye stories interspersed within there. I think 160, 181, 191. But to get the full relevance of the Bullseye appearances, I think you need to read the whole series just to see the whole direction it's gone, so you realize why it is so heartbreaking when he kills Elektra. Excuse me. When he kills Elektra. And then 191. That's an issue where Matt is, Bullseye is broken at that point, and Matt is contemplating killing him. And it's a little bit of Russian roulette between Matt and Bullseye, who can't even lift a finger to defend himself at that point.
Yeah, that's the one where Matt's like sitting at his bedside, right? And
yeah. That.
And yeah.
I'm telling you what, that's a hell of a read. And you see a hero at his lowest with what Matt's going through there.
Yep.
Matt is contemplating ending him, and they're playing Russian roulette. So that was the end of Miller's run. That Daredevil run by Frank Miller, that's one of the all-time great comic runs ever. Definitely top 10.
Yeah, I agree with
5,
that.
Maybe top 5, but if you're a comic fan and you love the medium, this is one of the all-time greats right here. Daredevil 158 to 191. It's been collected many times in many ways. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Absolutely. That is a great run for sure. All right. There we are. All right. Good stories, guys. Good stories. I hope everybody that's in the audience and listening to there tonight will check these out, because they are essential to learning about Bullseye.
Who was reading that in high school?
Chris,
you weren't in high school then. Yeah, I guess he was. Chris, yeah. I guess you were in high school.
He went to high school?
Well, look, there's high school and then there's reform school. So. That's right. He was in high school then. He's not as old as I am, so that's right. He was.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and then jump to our next segment, which is Best Writer and Artist. Dan, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with this?
All right. Oh, excuse me. For writer, I went with Daniel Way. He's the one that wrote 2 of the recommended readings I have, the Greatest Hits and the Punisher Bullseye series.
Yeah.
I like how he just, he captured, the way that they, he had the cool kills that he would put in there. and just captured the absolute psychoticness. You know, if I'm just going to make up a word now.
Psychoticness.
And
I'll allow it.
the viciousness of Bullseye, but also had some of the stuff, like especially in the Punisher Bullseye series, you know, some of the stuff where it was not just like, hey, I'm going to psychotically kill this guy, that he would like pre-plan and set little traps and stuff to show, hey, you know, this guy does have some, you know, does have some intelligence too.
Right. I was a junior in high school. Yep. Okay.
And then for art, I'm going to go with, they're the ones that, with two guys, they're the ones that drew the one recommended reading I have, the 284 to 290. It's Kieran Dwyer and Lee Weeks. And both their styles are, you know, fairly similar, or they were on that book. And I like the kind of grittiness that they drew him with. I think it suited the character well.
All right. Very good. Very good. I'll go next on this one. I too chose Daniel Way as my writer, but there was a very close second for Wolfman and Brubaker. So, but I'll go with Daniel Way as my pick for that. Best artist, there was a lot that I liked, but I think I'm going to lean towards Steve Dillon. I think I liked the way he was drawing him the best. So, those are my picks. Jamie, go ahead. What do you got for your picks?
Yeah, I was gonna go with Brubaker as well.
Yeah. Good. It's a good choice.
But I'm gonna echo you. I gotta go with Dylan on that one because this is like like I said, with this character, it's been the closest I've been like having to decide on all of these.
Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. Uncle Gary, how about you?
All right. Well, since I just went it quite passionately talking about how Daredevil 158 to 191 is the greatest of all time, there's no way I cannot choose Frank Miller.
Yep.
You know, Frank Miller, where he took that character. Because before that, y'all love Bullseye the way he is right now. Frank Miller's the one that put that character in the direction of being that interesting, because his first appearances in Daredevil 132, 133, I have them. They're okay. But, man, it didn't get elevated until Frank Miller elevated it.
Yeah.
Made him a total psychopath and just the interlaced relationship and the sadisticness of Bullseye in that Miller run, I think set the template for how this character has been interpreted and reinterpreted since then. So I got to give a lot of love to what Frank Miller did on that run with that character. So
I have to agree.
That's
a good
it.
choice.
That's it. So for artist, a lot of consideration is given to Miller and how he depicted him in that run. A lot of consideration is given to Dillon, but and again, here I find myself putting a cover artist on here again, but man, I really love the way Deodato Jr. draws Bullseye. I just really, really love how Mike Deodato Jr. does.
Now, did he draw any interior art, or was it only cover art for him?
I'm not
cover art.
I think it was only cover art.
Yeah.
If he ever did interiors for him, it wasn't anything. It wasn't any like long thing.
No.
Did he do them on Thunderbolts? Because he drew Thunderbolts for a little while, didn't he? And it might have been Bullseye was on.
Maybe. But it's just those covers were so phenomenal. But but I still want to give love to Frank Miller's art on him and for Dillon's art.
All right, very good, very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our show for tonight. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining in and participating and giving us your comments there. We'd love to have it. We'd love to have you guys on here anytime. So let me go ahead and say once again, I'm your host, Sal the Slab Guy. You can always find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner. Down below is this guy, Dan DeKelly Art. Find him on Instagram under the same name. Over there is the Ric Flair of comics.
Woo!
You can find him anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You just magically show up. He'll magically show up at any comic book shop that you're at. But he also shows up at Comic Logic, and that's where he always appears there. Click your heels 3 times, Comic Logic. That's where you're at. And of course, over here is our fearless leader himself, J-Dub. All right, guys. Thank you. Good. Once again, got some great stories, got some great covers. We'll see you guys next week when we're going to be covering Preacher.
Jesse Custer.
Jesse Custer. Very good. So till then, catch us on Saturday night for Comics Unleashed, and we will see you all next week. Oh, Chris, we love you too,
Love
man.
you too.
Thank you, sir.
You
Chris,
too,
look-
man.
Sir.
Chris,
You
love
too.
your
It was a lot
gaping.
of fun on Sunday.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun. Chris, we love your gaping holes.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yep. Like Boosh said, keep your eye on the target. I'm
Eye
sure
on the
Bullseye
target.
does that
I
all
bet
the
that's
time.
why he got kicked out of that bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably so. Thanks,
Yeah,
Mr. Keith. Appreciate that.
Well, not
All
just that, because afterwards he's yelling at people in the other stalls. Hey, come check this out.
yeah.
It looks like a piece of art. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
so. Hard
You
pass.
like Jackson Pollock?
Jesus Christ.
On that, ladies and gentlemen,